Joker, the wild card and the leader of the Phantom Thieves, and one of the best characters in the game. I mean, just look at who plays him. Please don't claim this video, Leo, it's just for the funnies. Joker is a bait and punish character that uses his speed and movement options to weave in and out of the opponent's range and find openings for combos and finishers to take stocks. Joker's trump card, Arsene, can turn the tide of an entire match in seconds. Arsene adds more damage and knockback to his moves, and even changes some of his moves, like changing Aha to Aegon, adding more knockback and hits to his gun, completely changing his up B, adds a spike to his down air, and gives your opponent literal hypertension from the sheer amount of salt that's injected into their bloodstream. Joker takes very good knowledge of fundamentals to master, but his speed, advantage, neutral, and overall upside make him the perfect trump card to have in your arsenal. So I know you guys are used to me giving info, but for the Joker video, I had to get one of the best Joker players that I've ever played, Maje. He has his own YouTube channel, so head over there if you want to learn more Joker tech. And yeah, he's gonna talk for like most of the video. So here we go. Take it away, Maje.
What's going on, y'all? It's Maje. If you guys don't know who I am a day one Joker player. I originally was not going to take Smash this series, but with Joker's release, I really come to love this game. Now, with introductions out the way, let's talk about this character. Joker is a very fast character who is hard to hit. With his high dash speed combined with his low running animation, it is very easy to avoid a lot of moves. That combined with his top 5 fall speed makes him a very mobile character, which is why I can say with confidence that Joker does not have a best button. The best thing you can do with Joker is not nair, nor is it back air, it's his movement. And you will come to understand why I say this later on in the guide. But right now, just understand that movement is the number one thing you need to do to be a really good Joker. Without movement, you won't get much of anything to go for you. Since he has very small and precise hitboxes, it is very hard to just throw moves out to hit people with him. So the best thing you can do is to create a whiff with your very good movement. If you can move correctly and force whiffs, it makes landing these very precise hitboxes very easy. Because think about it, if you're trying to hit somebody that's constantly moving around with nair, it's going to be very hard to do because nair is a very small move. Unless you have a lot of experience with this character or just with movement in general, you're going to have a very hard time landing nair in neutral. All in all, to play this character at a good level, you need very strong fundamentals and great movement. To put it simply, if you lack either of those, your Joker's going to really struggle. The number one thing to always do with this character is to 1, learn your bread and butters down to a T, and to get really comfortable moving around. Because if you lack movement, as I said earlier, you're going to have a really bad time. Speaking of bread and butters, let's get into those right now. Alright, so I'm going to keep this short and simple, because I can turn this into a 2-hour subject, but I won't. So we're going to start with down throw fair. Pretty simple, right? You can also do down throw fair dash attack if it's before 10%. There is also down throw back air, which works until literally forever. What you have to watch out for is down throw back air dash attack. That's not going to work forever. And then of course you have up throw up air. You can also drag down, which will lead into more stuff. Speaking of drag downs, you can do down throw, up air, drag down, starting at 20%. This is of course if the opponent DIs in or does not DI at all. So if you want to go for drag downs, you have to know the opponent's going to DI in or not at all. If you do not know, do not go for it. You can also react, but that's much harder online. And one more thing about loops, if the opponent keeps on DIing in like a dummy, then you can drag them across pretty much the whole entire stage, up until 60. For rage, you have to watch out though, because more knockback. Now let's go over how to land grabs. At 0, pretty much every aerial gives you a grab. And with nair, you can go all the way up to 50. Of course, again, watch for rage. It ends pretty early with back air, so be careful. And down air tumbles around the 20s. Fair is also pretty early, so be careful there. Now let's talk about dash attack. Out of pretty much every aerial, dash attack will combo. But watch out for high percentage because it will not work there. Moving on to fair one, it is a great whiff punish tool. You can get pretty much any and every aerial out of this move, so if you land it, go crazy. It is also a godlike spot dodge punish, and it is really good at ending stocks. If you land this move, they might just die. Well, later on of course. This move is really crazy, but the thing is, it takes a lot of patience to land this move correctly, so we'll talk about that later though. Now let's talk about up tilt. Up until 40, this move will combo in the up air, but you do need to chase DI. What it will not combo into is up B. Don't try that. Actually, while we're here, do not try to combo in a grapple hook at all. Up B is strictly a call out tool. It is not made for combos. Well, since we're on stuff that does not work, let's talk about down tilt up air. If you just land down tilt, close down tilt that is, it doesn't matter what percentage they're at, it will never combo in the up air. You need to land a tipper version of down tilt, which is the furthest hitbox. It's pretty hard to space. And while we're on down tilt, let me go over near down tilt. The same principle applies. You will rarely get tipper down tilt here. And you also have to land there correctly or else down tilt's never true. If you do land it though, it puts the opponent in a very bad spot, which could lead into frame traps and or whiff punishes. There's also ways to punish the opponent for jumping, so get very creative with it. With all that being said, I will still take grab over down tilt. Alright y'all, now that we wrapped the bread and butters, let's talk about neutral. Now, as I was talking about earlier, Joker's neutral is going to rely on how good your movement is. Nothing else will dictate how good your neutral is. I'm going to stress this right here. Movement is number one. Not throwing out aerials, not using gun, not using Nia, it's all about movement. You may see me using gun here, but that's me using it as a way to get the opponent to approach from the air. Doing that will allow you to use your movement to move out of the way so you can punish a landing and or a whiff. Using the combination of great movement and a little bit of gun is a good way to get the opponent to mess up and do what you want them to do. That's all you need to play neutral. You don't need to go all aggressive and smack the opponent with every area. Doing that will get you hit, which is, well, one, not good, and two, possibly hit off stage, where we do not want to be at. I'll explain more on that a little later. Another big part of neutral is just experience in the game. I know that sounds really redundant, but listen to me. With enough experience in the game, you have a general idea of what the opponent wants to go for, right? I'm talking about the human that you're fighting against right now, not the character. The character, you will have to know all of their options too. There's a lot more to neutral, but I'm going to keep this video short and cut it here. Patience. The number, well, I will say number one. Actually, I don't know which one's more important, movement or patience, but yeah. Movement and patience are the two things you need to play this character efficiently. If you don't have either, you're going to explode. Keep it simple. Joker's hitboxes aren't on the big side. They're kind of precise, so you have to be really careful trying to hit people. One way to avoid going through all the trouble of using small hitboxes is to just wait. Literally just wait. I'm not saying go to the side of the stage and, go to the corner and camp, but just wait. You don't have to always be pressing buttons. There's a reason why we get 8 minutes per match. If you're trying to end games as fast as possible, you're not playing the game right. And you're definitely not playing Joker right. He has to be played very carefully. So if you go in and just smack buttons, it's not going to work out. Let me tell you that. Now, when I say patience, I don't mean patience only in neutral. I mean it everywhere. Take, for example, the ledge. Ledge drop fair and ledge drop gun are decent options, but they don't have that much range to them. So if you get hit, which is easy to get hit, you can really explode. You need to be patient in the advantage state too, especially when you want to go off stage. If you just run off stage and lose stage control, you might be getting reverse edge guarded, which you don't want at all. You want that like never, because dying early sucks. It feels so degrading when you die at 40 or 50 because you went off stage. Dying early, you never get to use Arsene, and never using Arsene equals a big disadvantage for Joker. You don't want that, so hey, be patient. At advantage, man, a lot to talk about here. This is Joker's best category in my opinion. He absolutely destroys in advantage state. It is, it's ridiculous how good he is in advantage. Yeah, remember earlier when I was talking about his stats? Like how quick he is and his fall speed? That plays a huge part in advantage state. Because usually if you're a slow character, you may get your hits in, but you can't follow up as quick. Joker, Cheek, Fox, characters like that are fast, they can keep on getting hits over and over again. Even if the combo is not true, they get more hits. And even if you don't get any more hits, you get pressure, which is really important. Pressure leads into shooting, which leads into grabs. What do grabs lead into? Even more advantage. And of course, with those grabs, if the opponent stops shooting because of them, the opponent might start picking different defensive options, meaning you still have your advantage. So you can still go crazy. This is a never-ending loop, really. This is once you know how far you can extend, your advantage state is basically unlimited with this character. That brings me to another point, overextending. It is very easy to start pinning yourself with Joker and get lost in the sauce, so be very careful. This advantage state may be really, really good, but you can still overextend with Joker and you can get punished for it heavily, so be careful. And I didn't cover this in the last section, but let's cover this now. Going off stage. The only time you should be going off stage with base Joker is if the opponent has to come back by air dodging. If they have multiple resources, do not go off stage with base Joker. Due to the gun nerf, Rainstorm off stage really is not a problem. So instead, you should stay on stage and go for a ledge trap. Arsene, on the other hand, he really does not care. He can go as deep as he wants to, and you should really take advantage of that. All in all, Joker is an advantage state monster. He's very quick and can easily apply pressure to the opponent after hitting them. Couple that with how deep he can go off stage, and you have a very terrifying character. And Arsene, yeah, we're gonna get on him a little later. For now, just know that he has a very strong advantage state. Now, Joker's disadvantage. This is going to be a short subject because, to put it simply, there is none. I mean, even with the down guns nerf, you can still have pretty good gun mix-ups on the way down. Couple that with his fall speed and his frame 3 Rebels guard, and it's going to be pretty tricky to hit him. Not to mention that it's pretty scary trying to edge guard. If you mess up trying to hit him, yeah, that could be it. Rebel Hook has mix-ups, and there's a ton of things you can do with gun on the way back. But his guard is not perfect. You can still get edge guarded pretty hard if you're not careful. Rebel Hook is very exploitable, so just hit him on the way up, and you really can't do much besides tech. To be honest, all you need is a little love tap, and he's dead. Of course, Arsene is much harder to gimp, but 2 frames are the death of him, so go crazy on him. There is one more thing though. If you're chasing him in the air, he only has a few options. You can't really mash aerials on the way down, due to the startup. If you know this, and the Joker knows this, he can't push any buttons on the way down. That leaves him with basic options: a frame 1 jump, frame 3 air dodge and Rebels guard, and a frame 4 counter. Covering these options will keep him in disadvantage. And that's the extent of it. His disadvantage may be kind of tricky at first to understand, but once you get it, it's fairly simple. And now, this is the last point I want to cover: Arsene. Now, when Arsene's on the field, your main objective is not to rush at them like a madman. I mean, in low to mid level play, it could be, but once you're playing against smarter players, it is very hard to get an opening. One thing you can do is what I've been stressing literally all video: patience. You don't have to dash at them like a madman. If you just slowly walk towards them, they have 2 options they can do. 1, run away. 2, engage. If they're in the corner, which they might be because 75% of the time when you have Arsene, they ran away, then one of the options, which is engaging, is very unsafe. Not only will you have the whole stage to run back and whiff punish them with, but if they mess up and do something laggy, then they're gonna die. And if they don't engage, they're already in the corner, so they have no options to run away. They have to get past you somehow, which means you can react to them running past you. And if you don't want to react, you just walk away slowly and watch what they do. Take what the opponent gives you and don't force anything. Remember, patience. As I said earlier, you have 8 minutes on the clock. Use them all. Arsene being out does not mean you need to be changing your playstyle up. It's still Joker, so still play patient. But that's it for me, y'all. I'm about to head out. It's been Maje, and we're going back over to Swigs.
And there you have it, ladies and gents. A true guide from the master himself. Now, some tips from your old pal Swigs. If you want to pick up Joker, I highly suggest that you work on your Smash fundamentals above all else. Joker is not a pick up and go character, and if you're lacking in the area, it will get exposed. Next, work on keeping yourself unpredictable on stage. I know Maje said that movement was a pretty big part of Joker's kit, but knowing how and when to go for Joker's options is a huge part of playing and mastering Joker. Think of Joker in Persona 5. He's the trickster, someone whose power lies in his unpredictable options. Couple that with his flashy moves and you got yourself a good anime character, if I do say so myself. Lastly, just have fun with the character. No, literally, just go for stuff sometimes. Even if you lose a stock in the process, this will only help you to improve and push your limits with the character. If you like this video, drop a like and make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content uploaded every week. Also, be sure to check out Maje's channel where he goes over a lot of Joker tech and tricks in way more detail than this video. Even though this one is pretty long, go play Joker and shoot people. And until next time, don't forget to check out some of my other content because that's pretty funny. Swiggy out. Wrong my outro, whatever.